What's up, Travis?
What's up? Hey, we got Heather. We got your wife coming in. Well, this
Yep.
is cool. I just noticed that. I was like, crap, there's only supposed to be two of you, but then
Um, she's
wonderful.
she's the one that'll do a lot of back office stuff. So
All
Love.
right.
all the stuff I don't want to do.
Cool. Heather, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I'm in my car, so it's connected to Bluetooth, so it won't show my face on here. Sorry
That's
about
okay.
that.
It's okay. I try to do them on Zoom so you guys can make sure that I'm actually paying attention to what you're having to say. So, well, nice to meet you, Heather. I've
Yep.
got to know your son and husband here a little bit.
Yeah, same to you. I hear lots about you.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, hopefully that slows down for you. So, um, well, guys, the floor is yours. So this is the same link. So you got 15
Yep.
minutes till you have
Yep.
people piling in here.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Heather, go ahead from what your side is on the bank stuff. I think we maybe have that worked out when you say Heather.
Yeah, I mean, once you had that meeting with Kiavi today, I think that helps us out. My only question, Travis, was, well, no, I think, honey, you answered me today. It's a short-term financing until we can switch it over to long-term. Is that correct, Travis?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So,
That's what she's.
Dad, take your video off. It might help.
yeah.
He's a slow
And I
blinker, isn't
finally
he?
got a hold of Julius today, and I have another meeting with him set on Thursday at 12. Going on.
Dad,
I
just
followed it though. He met with Julius, so that's good, man. He's one of the higher ups at the company, so
Okay.
that's a really good one to be in contact with. So if you have his number, definitely save that. He's one of the original eight. That's like a massive company there, Kiavi, and I mean like billions and billions under management. And so Julius is one of the original eight. So he is my like liaison. So he helps me with anything that my like new apprentices need. Because whenever it comes to financing, like there's a whole lot. And so just hang on to his info to get you guys stood up. And Heather, I
Okay.
use Kiavi. I've used them for 9 years. Okay, they didn't used to be
Okay.
called Kiavi. It was like Lending One. And so
Uh-huh.
they are a hard money lender, and they are fantastic to work with. Okay, so just
Okay.
really just nurture that relationship and you will get nurtured in return with them.
Okay. Yeah, I think because the other day, like when we had Kevin and I both work for like family business. And so what our W-2 shows and what he has done privately on the side is two different stories. And now it's biting us in the butt because we can't show quote unquote income like we have made. And so when we went to do the home equity loan, they're only wanting to give us like 200 and one bank 260, 220,000, even though we have
Okay, get.
about 850,000 in
I went.
equity. So it was a struggle because we didn't know about, like, I didn't understand Kiavi totally.
I
And
want you to get
so
through here because I have no cover.
I'm gonna mute him. Okay, go ahead.
okay, perfect. Yeah. And so that's why he didn't want to discuss those numbers per se on when we were talking about just getting on the call and saying it. He didn't want to discuss those numbers, but it's not
Oh,
as big
totally
of a
fine.
deal
Yeah.
now. Now we were discussing today, probably to still go ahead and get the line of credit that we can, just if we need it, if something falls through, but it sounds like Kiavi will be our best bet anyway, because we can do just all through them and not have to worry about our own personal house, quote unquote, on the line. Although I'm not concerned about that. I don't want to express concern, just
Yeah,
where we're
yeah,
at.
yeah. I know what you mean, though. I mean, we do it. I own a bunch of land here in Illinois, and I mean, I have a line of credit on it. It's only 300 grand, or it's 480, but like I think I have like 350 just sitting in it, and so
Uh-huh.
I will randomly pull from it, but I just
Okay.
like
Yeah.
having it. Truthfully, like it's
Yes.
more of a it makes me feel good knowing like okay, if something really bad happens and I don't know, like one of my lenders has a huge problem because I raise a lot of private money. So like
Yeah.
we do work with Kiavi, but most of the time it'd be like me and you talking, Heather. And like, say you
Yeah.
weren't, you didn't want to do this, but you wanted to invest in real estate. Like I would just borrow your 200 grand. Well, sometimes you
Correct.
guys have
Yeah.
life events happen where you're like, I need that 200 grand back like tomorrow, Trav. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. So I try to keep a heavy liquid piece. So anyway,
Okay.
it makes me sleep good at night. You should get that, just have it available. Once you use it a few times, I bet they grow it for you, even though your W-2s don't fit in the box they want them to.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of what's been our downfall now because we like to pay cash off for things. And so we've paid so much cash off things. It was making it a little difficult, but I think that is the solution. And then the other aspect that I know I will be dealing more with is all the paperwork aspect. I'm the one that
Hmm.
was actually writing last week about everything is pulling up in WordPad and not in. Do you use Microsoft Office to create those documents? Some are in PDFs, those I'm having no trouble with. But if it just
Okay.
says .doc, I cannot open it in Google, like with my Google Sheets or Google Word. So I was wondering what
Dang.
program you used.
They're all Google Sheets or Google Word. Like everything's just digital for us.
Yeah.
If you want to let me know
Okay.
like what ones, I'm happy to do it. Just that will take me a little time because I'll have to go get it, pull it, download it, send it. Not that that's
Yeah.
a long task or anything, but like,
Yeah. Well,
um,
Kevin's computer is super old, so I actually just ordered him a new computer and it's coming tomorrow. And I
okay,
took off of work Thursday to spend the day with him figuring out and downloading as much as I can just and organizing it into folders on his computer. So I'll do that. Any that I can't figure out, we'll shoot you over those specific couple documents, but I'll try them opening them on the new computer that's most updated and see if that
okay.
makes a difference.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
happy to do it. So it's not like a nuisance. Like, but if you request like 23 docs from me, it might I'll probably
Yeah,
drip them
I
to
get
you
it.
a little slow. So,
Yeah, I get it.
okay.
I'm a nerd in organizing stuff. So I want to try to do it and figure it out myself, just so I can know how to play with the documents myself anyway, so I can make them correct for the boys when they need them.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to do it.
So,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you guys told me that it was personal because I wouldn't have known. I just, I get a lot of texts and they're like, "Hey, can I get, 5 minutes every time?" And it's like, "Yeah, for sure." But like, let's do it on the like, that specific time. So I'm glad you guys told me it was personal.
My
Austin, you
dad
got
said he's
anything,
trying.
man?
Yeah. So, my parents were up here at Evansville, this weekend, so we were able to meet with Alejandro on the phone. I was able to build that connection with him, which has helped me a lot already. Like I've been texting him today, just about some random questions. He had told me to kind of go on Facebook and find wholesalers and just start being aggressive with them and texting them. So last night I sent 10 messages out from groups is how he said he did it. And I got two responses back. So I was gonna kind of ask you how to respond to them. The one, it was a very long message. From just looking at it, I'm like, me and my dad were like, yeah, probably not, just because. Here, I'll read it for you. He says, property was inherited and the current seller is in jail, just looking to liquidate for funds. Property is currently vacant and can be shown in the mornings. Unknown age of roof and central HVAC. No pics of the interior, but can only assume it will need a rehab as there is no kitchen from what the seller told us. Only asking 25,000. ARV he said is 110,000, and then he said rehab is full rehab. So
Okay.
for
Okay.
those, I guess how do you? Yeah, I guess that's my first question. Is like
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah,
how do
so
I go
here's
about
the
that?
fun part with this. So you're just looking at now, let me see if I can get my screen pulled up here. But you want ARV times zero point 0.7 minus repairs. That's the
Yep,
full amount that you can purchase a home. That's the maximum that you can buy a home for.
yep.
Did you already get to that part in the training?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the maximum you could do. And so that's the simple sniff test right there. If it doesn't
Yeah.
pass that, it's a pass. And
Yeah.
so with this house, you have some unknowns. You can't access it. This is cool though. Like that's a lot of motivation for them. Like you got a guy in jail. Like we bought several homes in jail from people that were in jail. So because the notary just goes to the prison and we'll take care of it for you. But
Mhm.
a home that's only worth 110 and it probably needs at least 70 in rehab, that means you'd be all in at 95,000, which is too much. So,
Too much.
but it's a good start.
That's what me and my dad had kind of thought. So how do you respond to that? I'd asked him if that was, the only property that he was, looking to sell right now, and he said yes, just at this moment. So I was just kind of wondering, like,
Okay.
polite way
Yeah.
just to come on, like, hey, that doesn't really fit my buy box,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Be like, hey, appreciate it, man. This one's probably a pass for us, but like, how many are you doing a month? And like, what's the best way to find out about your deals?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
And then you can put him on a weekly like check-in list with him because he might be kind of a goofball and maybe is not worth you associating with all the time. Or
yep,
he might be a complete home run and this is just a total one-off deal because it's getting around the holidays for him.
yep,
And so
yep.
and he does one or two a week. But I like to find out how many they do a month because if they tell
Yep.
me four, then I know that I need to check in with him at least once a week
Got it.
because he's doing a deal a week.
Yep, makes total sense.
Yeah.
My next question is another lady responded. So when she responded with me, that she does wholesaling plus bird dog, which at the time I had no idea what bird dog meant, so I just looked it up on the
Googled
internet.
it. Yeah.
Yep. So then do I just ask her, do I just tell her the buy box, that, me and my dad are looking at, or, how much information do I give to her, rather it being a wholesaler rather than me, not going through the wholesaler.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell her everything that you want, man. Tell her exactly
Yep.
what you're looking for and be like, hey, I'm looking to buy at least one a month from a wholesaler. And
Yep.
so, but I only buy at 70% ARV minus repairs. Can you get me deals like that?
Okay. Perfect.
Yep, yep. You're just kind of, man, you're just really talking to them. Like they need you, just so you know. Like you don't need
Yep.
them. They need you because they can't make money without flippers and without people willing to purchase their deals. So they're looking for you. So try to get as specific as you can with them because wholesalers are a dime a dozen. And so
Yep.
you try to be as specific as you can. Like I'm looking for three twos, like in 70% ARV minus repairs. Do you do those deals?
Yep. Got
And
it.
if they say no, they'd be like, okay, okay, well, not a fit. But if
Yep.
they say, yeah, we do, be like, okay, cool, man. Like, what's the best way to find out about them? Or do you want me to call you weekly or what is it?
Um,
Travis, how do we do the repairs with them? You know how when you talk to a client and you're going through your script, how do you
Hmm.
handle that with them to make sure that you're actually getting all the right facts?
Yeah, I just ask them what repairs are needed on the home. And so sometimes they're pretty good at giving you real numbers. So you guys will find like you're just gonna have to work through like 100
Yep.
goofballs to find a couple good ones. Because a good wholesaler, like he needs you to know the real numbers. Like he needs you to know the HVAC doesn't work and the roof doesn't work and that the floor is like have some problems with it. Because he's not looking to sell you one home. He's looking to be able to call Austin every time he has a deal and sell it to Austin and not
Yep.
send it out to 50,000 people and try to like sift through it. And so you're going to know, but the simplest way that we do is like, hey man, what repairs does it need? Or what's the repair number? And he might say 50. And my simple question back to that is, okay, man, can you run me through what all they are?
got it.
And if
Yep.
he says roof, HVAC, full interior gut, electricity, paint, and flooring, that sounds like 100 grand, buddy, not 50. So where are you getting 50? And
Yeah,
so it
this
just
house is only
allows you to have a
it was
transparent
only
conversation.
it was only 894 square feet, but it was all that.
Hmm.
Okay, Gaussen, keep going
Yep.
with your questions.
Well, he answered two
Awesome.
of them.
Ask about the intern. Ask ask about the internship.
Oh yeah. So Travis, I have to do a internship through the university here to graduate. I'm meeting with the business, like the head of business tomorrow. pretty much as long as you're doing the internship through a quote unquote a company, like I can choose. So I was wondering with you if I could do the internship quote unquote through you, but use my hours when say I'm working on calls or working through things to count as my internship. Does that make sense?
Huh. Do you just need me to say like yes, and then you can do whatever you want to
Well,
it, or?
I don't know if I don't know if it's possible. I'm gonna ask the lady tomorrow, but
Okay.
like I didn't seem opposed to that. Like I could just use like maybe these calls as quote unquote my teaching lessons. And then
Hmm.
like go out in the field, like work would be just me doing, say the
Looking at
things
your own deals. Yeah,
that I'm
dude.
doing.
I'm happy to sign off on it, man. Yeah, I mean, I would be pretty comfortable with that because I believe in what we're doing, like versus an internship, at an accounting firm,
Yeah.
which there's really enough. I think that would probably be pretty good for people too. But if for some reason that doesn't work, then I would probably hit up like somebody in here and see if you could like handle some acquisition stuff for them or some TC
Okay.
stuff for them.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That was really all the questions I had from my side. You answered the questions about wholesaling, how to respond. Yeah, I mean,
Are
I
you
would
guys
say
needing did you guys already get registered on the AI tool?
so that was another question is me and Josh have been texting and he said he had a bunch of troubles with it with the password not working, so he had to like re go the route of he forgot his password and then it took like 2 or 3 days. So he told me
Hmm.
his advice was to just wait for you and ask you to see if that's just the way that me and my dad should go. Because I mean, once we can get signed up and get rolling on that, I mean, I would say we're ready. So
Yeah, it's fixed, man. It's fixed. It was
okay.
totally not even connected to the website. And so
Oh, okay.
the like a whatever the code wasn't even in the website. So it's good to go, man. You guys sign up for whatever you want, it'll do it immediately. If for some reason it doesn't, you just let me know.
Okay, perfect.
So, cool, dude. Which one do you guys want? Because I'm gonna send you some of whatever you register for, I'm gonna send you some of your money back. Which one are you guys doing? Do you know?
Uh, we're doing the year deal, the one with the 4 month
Okay.
free.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna make sure you get something back. So, okay. Cool, dude. All right, guys. Yeah, you're good to go on that though, man. Go ahead.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Travis.
Cool. My pleasure, man. See you, dude. All right, guys. What's up? What's up, Alex? You already quit, man? What's up, Rachel? You already
Not
fully
yet.
checked out?
It's getting there, but next Wednesday,
Uh,
next Wednesday is my last day.
Yeah, it's hard not to check out like immediately, ain't it? Like after you
It
put that
is.
in. I remember,
It is.
did you do it in the morning when you text me, or did you do it in the afternoon?
Yeah, it was like 10 or 11 a.m.
It was. I remember I sent mine at like I couldn't get myself to quit. Like I just couldn't do it. And I sent mine at like 9:30 at night. And it was the most I couldn't even sleep that night. I sent the resignation letter out. So it was
Yeah, it's
hard,
pretty
man.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah. You get a bunch of people blowing you up on the side. I'm like, what are you doing? What? Like, you'll be back. And I was like, maybe,
I've heard that several
maybe. I
times.
don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Well, cool, guys. Well, let's have us some fun here. So I assume the next few weeks will be some pretty light calls on this. And so, guys, we have about 30 minutes here together. I'm going to have my cost segregation guy join here on the back three. And so it is end of the year. Truthfully, I have some questions for him. But I'm going to guess I know a lot of you are very high income earners. And so you need as much help as you can as well with taxes. And so we are going to have Brian K. I can't ever pronounce his last name. Join us. I'm gonna shoot him a text here in a second, make sure he can still make it. I know he had some flight stuff going on. So let's open it up. I want to check in with the girls first. Miss Rachel, anything we could kick this party off with you and dive into?
I realized this past week, I think one of my main struggles is underwriting. Like I know the basics, I can underwrite a property, but once you start adding in like repairs and stuff like that, in my mind, it just like shuts down. I don't know what
Okay.
it is. So like I had one come to me and it wasn't a great deal, but I didn't feel like I could come back and be like, this is what would be a great deal. And it needed like
Right.
65K repair. And that's where I just get like stuck. So I kind of just didn't respond. So I don't know. I know. They still
So,
text me, but
I mean, it's all good. At least you know your weaknesses, right? Like, how many of us are like, I don't have any. No, no way. I'm as
nobody.
thoroughbred as they get. Um, so okay, so you shut down whenever the repair, like you have to put the repair number together, or whenever you think it's like, I have to deal structure this thing. Like
Deal
put
structure. I
terms
think
together.
I think like deal structure is where I go because like this property was it was okay. It wasn't like amazing, but it was like I knew it wouldn't work, but I don't know, I just like can't figure out how to back it in so it does work. And I just realized that for the first time and I was like, "Oh, that's probably a big if I was more confident in
How
that,
have you done all your deals in the past?
very luckily." I
Okay.
don't know.
Well, I guess
Like
you know what?
that's why
I
I
would agree with
stopped because
that.
I looked at my deals and I'm like, I made them work, but they at the time maybe should not have worked. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
that's where I was like,
Yeah.
ugh,
Okay.
that's not, I
No, I
can't
can
keep
understand
going
that.
like
I
that.
did the same thing. Like
Yeah,
where
it's
we
really
bought
scary
homes.
and
Yeah.
stressful. They work, but
Yeah.
they didn't necessarily have to work. Whereas I want to be like very secure in the fact that they're gonna work.
Have you finished the
Ish.
deal structuring piece by chance in equity buyers?
Um, what section is that? Do you know?
It's actually called deal structuring.
Oh, but I'm on section 3. I'm
You
trying
would
to like
know.
work through.
You would know. I tell you
Section.
what, Rach, like I want to talk about it here for another second. Why don't you stop that training like wherever you are and go into deal structuring next?
Let me look at it. Okay,
Because I
that's
think you
fine.
might really find like some peace going through that, and then maybe it'll identify like the specific area, like hey, I don't like sub two, or hey, I get really confused when we have to talk about some now some later, because like what's the sum now and then how do you get the sum later? Like maybe we can know exactly which piece it is so we can go into it further.
Is it the structure of real estate? Is that
Hmm.
what it's called?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
so.
I'm
Here,
like almost.
I renamed everything, so
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm almost done with that. And it makes sense. I just like can't figure out how to back it in. I don't know why I can't. Yeah, but
how
I'm
about we
almost
look
done
at some
matching
deals together
those.
then? Why don't you bring me some deals and let's look at them
Okay.
together, and then I'll show you how I would deal structure them, and maybe it will be like, oh, that's what I don't get. Because
Okay.
I want to know what part you don't get, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That's cool. You
Yeah.
figured that out though. Do you have any
Yeah,
deal that you want to go through?
it was good. We can go through one. Um,
Your call. I ain't trying to force that.
no, it's on my phone. Pulling it
Okay.
up. Okay. I think I'm also a little scared of buying in like a bad area. And so that like gets me a little nervous. Okay. What do you want? It's
Yeah.
210 purchase price, sort of.
Give me your
This is
price
how he
question.
worded it. 210 purchase price, 20K down, 800 a month, 7-year balloon. It needs about 65K in renovations.
Hold up. Hold up. Dang, remarkable just shut down on me. Okay, got it. Can you see that, Rachel?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 65K. Run me again, please. Purchase price.
Mm, 210 purchase
Pair.
price, 20K down, 800 per month, principal and interest. Well, it doesn't say interest, but 800 per month. And then 7-year balloon, 30-year amortization.
Okay.
House
What's
needs
the down
upwards
payment
of
was 20?
65K. Huh?
Repairs are upwards of 65K.
That's what he says.
What's the ARV?
He said 300. I think more like 280.
So you'd be taking it over sub two,
Seller
or is it
finance.
owner financed? Dang,
Owner
800 a month. That's attractive. Okay. All
Mm,
right. So does anything in here you don't know what interest rate by chance, do you?
I didn't ask. I can
Okay,
ask him.
cool. Okay. All good. All right. What about, does anything in here make your head hurt?
I
All good
think
with that
once I
piece of
see
it?
like the 85 entry and seller finance, that's where I kind of get out. Because then I think like, yeah, I think once I see the 85K entry, I'm like, well, if I get a PML, that goes up, like the payment goes up substantially. And then you
Mm-hmm.
have to put in factor in closing costs. So to me, that's where I get stuck every time.
Let's talk about it. So because the 85, you're including the repairs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the entry is actually only 20 grand to the deal. Just the repairs would be 65. And so, but in your mind, you're counting them as the entry, which is fair.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
when we do this, I would want to see the state of the home. But when we do this, Rach, so here's how we own or finance homes. ARV times 0.7 minus 50% repairs. We don't do the repairs. We just take it off. That equals the asking price. Okay. Lisa, is this how you did your deal, or do you always rehab them? You do them like this? Okay,
Yep.
cool. This is how we do them, Rachel. Like I don't do my repairs to my owner financed homes. So I just take them off. And so check this out. So let's run some math on that. ARV,
Mm,
and maybe this will help open your eyes. And this is my hope anyway. So you said ARV was 280, right? You like 280 better than 300?
I do.
Let's do that. 280,000 times one. Whoops, I'm sorry, guys. You see that, Rach? Times 1.1.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's 308,000 minus, let's just do 35,000. That's half of 65 minus 35,000. It means we could sell it 273,000. Down payment, repairs are a little high, so I would probably assume your down payment is 15 to 20 grand. Let's go 15,000. That leaves a mortgage of 258. I think you could hold out for 20 if you really wanted to, but we could just say worst case you get 15, interest rate 8%, payment it's probably going to be a ton versus 800. Okay. Do you follow all of that?
Yeah. And that's not taxes and insurance though, right?
I would assume that's not over here. This is not. No, this is just
Okay.
P&I.
Okay.
Yeah. Your buyer is going to pay the T&I. So you
I
don't
know,
need to
but they always ask and they're always like super, I don't know. In my experience, they've always been very like, they want to know the end payment.
Yeah, yeah. And it's totally fine. You can sell this in a form of, maybe it's like, instead of you saying, principal and interest is 1893, maybe you say, hey, the total payment is 2,500 a month.
Yeah.
Maybe that would help you on that piece.
Yeah. That's what I've done in the past.
Yeah, I would. I mean, that's how we talk to it. I don't try to tell them, like, we barely even discuss interest rates with settlers. They're usually just like, the monthly payment's what? Okay, can make that work.
Yeah.
And so does this help right here now make you realize that it's kind of just this entry and then this is what you're left holding?
Yeah. I guess if I don't have to fix it.
We don't.
That to me feels like a huge risk. And then what about closing costs? Do they pay all the closing costs?
I don't really charge them closing costs. I usually typically pay for them. And so, because this is when you buy over here.
Right.
This is when you sell it to them, the owner
Right.
financing. And so we've been selling on lease options, Rachel. So like I don't have closing costs. I do over here though. Now, I mean, I do over here, right? Closing costs right there.
Yeah.
But we've been selling on lease options for people, and
Mm,
everybody's been loving them. Or contract for deeds, which contract for deed don't have any cost either.
yeah. I've done contract for deed and it was like 1,200. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could still have attorneys do it. It's not like now, if you have an attorney do it, if a
Yeah.
seller ever tells you, excuse me, if a buyer ever tells you they want to work through an attorney, our response is no problem. You'll just have to cover your fees. Sound fair?
Mm, okay.
And then whatever the fees are, like if the fee was $1,200, they would have to pay it. Like I'm not going to pay closing costs for them.
Right. That makes sense.
And so you can see how see how different this deal now looks versus an 85K instead of you're only in it for 5 grand. Now I know you got closing costs and holding and things like that, so you're probably in it for a little bit more, but look at how minimal you're in it for. And then
Yeah.
what if you got a $40,000 down payment? Like I went kind of worst case scenario for you. What if you got a big down payment and you profited 15 grand here instead? Now that's hypothetical, so I don't want to use that. But your note equity is 258 and 210, so you got a $48,000 note equity, and your cash flow is just ridiculous. Your cash flow is $1,000.
Mm.
So you made what, 200% on your money?
I guess I could tell him I'd write up a contract and see like if I could wrap it.
You also could go under contract, which I think maybe is what you're saying. You go under contract with this
Yeah.
wholesaler and then get you a 45-day close and then go sell it, owner financing, and then close all of it simultaneously.
Yes.
Can be a way you can test it. Might help the mental piece of it too.
Yeah. Because in my mind, it's like, what if it doesn't sell?
Yeah. And that's fair. I mean, that's the way everybody's like would be whenever I mean, you've even owner financed houses, girl. Like I don't
I
know
know
what you're
it's
too worried
terrifying to me
about.
every
So
time. I don't,
but I
I've
think
never,
it's just the mental play in it. Like for us, like I always close on them now. Like I don't want to goof with like trying to coordinate different things and all of that. Like we inside of this apprenticeship, and I'll tell you guys this, like I can still say this, okay? We've never not owner financed a home that we tried to owner finance. My team and every apprentice that I've had in here, none that I'm aware of have not been owner financed yet. Don't you be a first, Rachel. Don't you jack that up for me and be a first. But it is truthful. We have owner financed everything that I'm aware of. If somebody didn't, just don't tell me. I don't want to know.
okay. I mean, I've never heard of it. If you let it go long enough, it'll sell, I guess.
Well, there we go. I guess I'm right. Hey, this is a pretty good looking deal though. You should really, oh my gosh, we got people in the waiting room. This is a pretty good deal. You should look at it and try to make something happen here.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'll talk
Great
to him.
job. Guys, I'm so sorry I was sharing my screen. I couldn't tell if anybody was in the waiting room. So next, guys, let's open this up. Remember, you can raise your hand on the screen. So not like physically, like we're in classroom, but I believe there is a button down here in the bottom that you can raise. There you go. Dave's got it. Cool. All right, Dave, you're up, dude.
Well, I posted that PDF in the team. I didn't see where you went. There you are. That South Carolina, Darlington, South Carolina.
Yeah.
I got it posted in there. But my question to you, and I can't remember if it was Lisa or Heather.
Okay.
It got the ridiculous assignment fee for like 40,000. The more is it Lisa? Lisa, can my wife Jennifer reach out to you to get some tricks? I think I've got $35,000 in this
absolutely.
assignment fee. I really think there's
Cool.
I did a comp ratio last night, Travis, and it's 249. I bought it on a 199 comp, and I bought it for $86,000 with 34K payoff. and she needs 50K at closing. So I think I've got $35,000 in there. I just wanted to pick Lisa's brain maybe on like, where else do I post this? So, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I'll
then-
put my number in the chat.
Okay. And then one more thing, Travis, remember the Alabama house that you thought was beautiful? We were going to do a sub 2. It was a VA loan.
Oh my gosh.
He called me back this weekend. He goes, all right, I've held out. I'm going through the divorce. I don't want to deal with it. Could you get me 51,000, 10K now and pay the rest over 4 years? So I'm putting that together right now.
Does that work?
Yeah, it works. I just need to figure out how to like, yeah. I mean, it's
Okay.
It's like a $350,000 house. He just, yeah, it's at 2.3% interest or something. Yeah, you said it was an amazing deal, and I figure I could do an assignment or I can just do it myself. But I'll put that
Okay.
together and put it in the team chat. So,
Oh my gosh, dude. Congrats, man. Holy
so
crap.
if it's all done right, I could put 42K in my bank account before Christmas. So I'm just crossing my fingers.
Whew.
Then I can start fixing and flipping some of my own. So I'm scared to fix and flip this first one, but
You better be careful telling Jennifer you're gonna be going on a cruise or something in December. So
well, my daughter, I think I told you, my daughter's on the snowboard team up in the mountains, and we just bought season tickets. So it won't be a cruise. We'll be out snowboarding and snow skiing all winter long.
Oh, dude, congrats, man. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I love getting to see this, guys. I've heard multiple of you guys like talking offline. Like, I'm almost so. Side note, I'll come right back to you, Lisa. I'm hoping this starts to turn into a little bit of a mastermind as well, because I think
Yeah.
you guys. I'm going to teach you the things you need to know, but then like, I hope you outgrow me like immediately, and you start using each other to
and I
get
wanted-
what you guys need.
I wanted to add something for Rachel. Jared had created this perfect presentation repair estimator calculator where you just type in the square footage in the bedroom and you just start checking boxes. And that's how I bought that house in South Carolina. I went through and I said, hey, out of the comps, I see you at 200, but I got to replace this, and this. This is going to cost this much money. And it had it all right in front of me through the presentation. And I said, at the end of the day, I like to make 10 to 15% like a traditional, construction home builder. What do you think is fair? And she was just like, I need the most amount of money I can. And I just started low. And I was like, if you could walk with 40K after the loan, and she's like, I'm closer to 50. And I was like, so we'd sign a contract right now for 50, but I had all the repairs right there in that spreadsheet. I didn't have to make up anything or figure it was all right there. And I practiced before I called. I put my wife in the chair and then just gave the presentation. And then because I'm like you, Rachel, I've been nervous. I'm like, what if I get a hold of something that I can't afford? Or what if I my brain goes worst case scenario in 50 different directions. That really calmed me down. So we could.
That's why you're starting to have success, man. You believe in it now. Like, and you're practicing it. Like, so, I mean, like you can't shoot 1,000 free throws and not be pretty good at them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're going to make them. So well done, dude. Congrats.
Well, and it's funny what I'll share real quick and then I'll shut up. But even some of the early ones I felt I completely screwed up on, I left enough impression that people are calling me back because now it's getting tight and they're like, hey, let's finish that conversation. And now I'm more seasoned and I can be more accurate. So like you said, Travis, doing the free throws, now I've got more confidence in my voice when I talk.
Yeah,
so.
You're genuine, man. I mean, people feel it, dude. Like if you goof it, like it still doesn't matter. Like, you know how many times I goof, like whenever I try to like bring people onto the apprenticeship and like, I like want it more than they do.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I can't, dadgummit, I'm sorry, I lost you. Like, I can't bring that back. Like type of thing. So,
but we're good,
man. Congrats.
Lisa, I got your number. I'll have my wife, Jennifer, reach out to you. We'll talk.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Perfect.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Hey, I got to get into the weeds for a second on land trusts. So I have this seller financed property, our first one. It's sub 2. So it was in a trust. And then when we bought it, we put it into a land trust. I'm trying to prevent the taxes from going up. And the county, this is in Lexington County, South Carolina, said if you can show us that ownership didn't change, then we'll revert to your old tax rate. There is a hack to doing this. I just don't understand the details.
Yeah. Do you have it in a trust?
I do.
Just send them the documents.
Yeah. But even though the trustee changed from the old trust?
Yeah, it's just fine. So did Jeff do the trust for you?
No. But 24-hour close, like a closing attorney did it.
Okay. So what I've usually done in the past is we send them the trust docs to show that the deed was just placed into a trust. The ownership doesn't change. The deed just moves into a trust. And so
Okay.
no ownership was transferred but there's beneficial interest that is transferred, but not ownership. And that's what they're
Okay.
after. And typically the trust documents always solve that. The one
Okay.
problem that I did encounter is that the county would get confused. And so I used to connect the county and Jeff together, and they solved it every
Oh.
time. And so just
Oh, okay.
know you might have to pull that attorney into the county.
Okay.
And I'm assuming the attorney's probably phenomenal at trust. But even if he's not, I'm going to guess by him saying, like, hey, you can't do this. If the ownership did not change, the deed just went into a trust. Lisa is a beneficial interest holder in the deal now, not an owner. She's a beneficial interest owner.
Okay. Which
So,
is different. Okay.
yep,
Okay, great.
totally different. Yep, it is
Oh,
personal property and not real property. It's why trusts are so freaking awesome here.
okay. In this situation, would you ever buy an existing trust and leave the trust in place? Is that a thing? I feel like
Mhm.
Instagram's told me that, but I've never done it. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, if I didn't do a land trust, do you ever buy someone's trust that holds the property?
Yes, you just have to have beneficial interest in it after you acquire it.
Okay.
Yes. So I bought some from Jared Russell. I mean, Jared.
Yeah.
So I bought from some Jared, and uh he's the owner of them, and so I took over the beneficial interest in it. And the trustee has to make that change.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you can see how like weedy it can get on trust, but it's kind of clean.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like who owns the interest. That's it
Okay.
inside of it. So
Okay, cool.
cool. And
I will
hey,
work with
so
that.
let me ask another question. So the taxes and insurance went up, or just the taxes?
Yeah.
Okay. And you already sold the home?
Yeah.
Okay, you can now for some reason it doesn't work out. You can pass them on to the homeowner. I probably wouldn't do it all at once because it's going to be a huge increase, but you can slowly increase them. So to where if for some reason the county and this attorney can't figure it out,
Yeah.
then just start slowly increasing them on the owner because he's the owner of the property and the taxes went up. It's totally justified.
Okay.
Like,
It
hey, your
went from
taxes
like
were 2 grand, they're 4 grand now. Like they're a lot.
went from $488 to 1,800 a year. Not
Ugh.
crazy, but not great. So
Yeah, I mean it's 3 times, right?
yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
what the monthly payment? What would it go from? So it would go from like 300 to 1,300? No, 300 to no 30 to 110. Okay, so not terrible.
Okay, not terrible.
Not
That's
terrible. Yeah,
that's manageable. Okay.
yeah, yeah. You could eat that for a short period if you absolutely had to, and then slowly increase it.
I mean,
So
this is the property that has $1,100 monthly cash flow. So if I had to eat it for a
okay.
minute, I could.
Yeah, but I mean, you keep your home run deals, right? Like I don't
For
want you
sure.
giving away any of that. So, okay.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Thanks for the clarification.
Good enough? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey Brian, what's up, dude? I got one more question, then I'm gonna pull you in, brother, if that's okay. Sweet. Alex?
I got a deal that I want to run by you. See what you think real quick.
Please.
All right, so it's a distant family member who is getting a divorce. They have their underlying debt is about 80 grand, 3% interest rate, and their payment is $800 a month. I think the ARV is about 150. It's not in the best area of Kansas City, but this house it's pretty nice and it's the biggest lot in the area. It's
Mm.
on like 4 acres.
Okay.
And he wants 165 because it's what it's going to pay off the divorce stuff, the attorney, his ex-wife, all those things, and maybe some other debt. Realistically, I think that if he listed at 165, it's going to sit forever. So I wanted to bring it here and see if there was something that I can do because I know that thing would cash flow like $1,000
So his
at
walk away is 80 grand?
the 165.
Yeah, so it's 85 grand.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't care about making any money. He's just trying to get everything cleaned up. Now, this might not even be a deal at all, but
Wait, hold on. I'm missing something, man. His mortgage is 80,000,
yes,
ARV's 150, so his walkaway is 85 grand, but he doesn't want any money.
he doesn't want to make any money. That number that he's asking for is to pay off his mortgage and to pay off the attorney and his wife and some back debt that he has.
Okay. So I have that right. So he wants 85 grand at closing on top of his mortgage. Okay. Okay. Crap, man. There's not really a good way to be able to get him such a large amount for that.
Right.
Just because of if he needs it to be able to pay off certain things like a divorce, like then it's gonna be that's a little tough to be able to do. I mean, you could try some now, some later in this right here. But if he needs it though, like this might not work. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're right, man. It's going to cash flow through the roof. It's a perfect buyer's market. Like it must not be a war zone because it's 150 grand, but it must not be the nicest area. And so
Yep.
like probably a phenomenal owner finance deal. And I just don't think he's going to go for, 5 or 10 grand down and 70,000, at 500 a month. Even if you gave him
Right.
500 a month, like you're probably only cash flowing what, 900,000 bucks. So that would eat a big chunk of your cash flow, which wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
then maybe I'll just try to novate it or something.
Yeah. Is his repair zero?
No, I mean it needs, I'd say maybe 10 grand.
Yeah. I mean, so you got a house worth 150 grand. He wants 165 for it and it needs work. So
Right.
yeah. No, man, not really a deal. It sounds like he's motivated though. That's the thing.
He
Like,
is.
man, I would go back and try it again and just make sure, like, hey, like how are you planning to get that? Because it's more than what it's even worth. By the time you pay agent fees, closing costs, like there's nothing here for you.
Hmm.
Like you're probably gonna he's probably literally max gonna end up with 120, maybe 115 total for it, which is a 30K walk away, which you could probably get creative with and make that work.
Yeah, I mean my other thought was just to do a cash offer for like, I don't know, 100 grand or something, and then
Yeah. Yeah. Or you could pay more and do a little bit more on terms. So there's two ways I buy homes, right? The first is cash and you're going to hate it, but it's around, 90 grand. But the second, I could probably pay you a little bit more if you want to talk about that.
yeah.
See if you can set an anchor on him because there's nothing anchoring this dude right now.
Right.
So,
Cool. Thank you.
yeah. Sorry, man. Nothing real great there. So, cool. All right, fellas. Let's tee up Mr. Brian. So, Brian, can you hear me, man?
Yeah, I gotcha. I'm good.
Cool, dude.
I was just
So,
scribbling notes.
yeah, that's all good, man. So Brian, you've got quite a few, which I think you've probably worked with several people on here, but you got quite a few experienced investors kind of pumping out some deals on here. And so,
Mm-hmm.
guys, I wanted to have Brian on. So, Brian, do you have any idea how many years we've worked together? Because it was before you even started this, and
I think it's 5 now, maybe
5 years.
5 years. I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, I would love to know how much taxes you have saved me from paying. That would be really cool to know. That'd be a cool intro. Like this guy
I should
saved
I
me
should
this.
start keeping track of it. Yeah, I could probably pull it on my Monday board. So
Yeah. But so guys, Brian runs cost segregation studies. And so you guys now have that in the equity buyers training. So Brian, this is like officially in the training. So whenever they're going through it, they're going to see your smiling face, your studies, how I talk through them, and like just what I use these for to, minimize my tax bill. And it's worked for the last 5 years, guys. We've gotten, last year we netted um, the tabbies netted 239 grand and we were able to pay zero in taxes. And this year we're hoping to be, somewhere around there, probably higher. And so we're shooting to pay zero in taxes. And so Brian helps us offset all of that. And so Brian, you got a pretty experienced audience on here. So, but I would still love the really detailed breakdowns that you do of your studies. So,
Yeah, I mean, if you guys wanted to, I could open up a presentation and walk through it. I just gave one for a group of all things, the Lifestyles Dentist Network in Cabo San Lucas on Saturday. And
okay.
so, I mean, it works for all types of real estate investors. These guys are practice owners, so dentists that they'll buy their building and they'll take that building. I'll do a cost segregation study on it because that LLC they own and they actively work in their dental practice. They're able to use the accelerated depreciation to offset their dental income. So you
Yep.
think dentists, maybe $300,000 in active income they're trying to offset. So it really works on all types of real estate and real estate investors. So, so cost segregation basically allows us to go in and separate a property into its individual component groups. So when I'm talking to residential owners, or I've got a client who just bought a $7 million hotel in Ormond Beach on the east coast of Florida, it's the same exact thing. So I'm looking at the exterior of the building first and looking for site improvements. So if you guys are going to hold on to a property and you're planning on keeping it and you're looking to maximize depreciation, because that's what we're talking about is maximizing depreciation or accelerating it so you can offset taxable income, either active or passive. So looking at the exterior of the building first, I'm looking for driveways, sidewalks, roads, fences, swimming pools. Everything that's outside of the footprint of the building is typically a site improvement, so a 15-year asset, where the building itself is a 27.5-year asset. Because of bonus depreciation, we can accelerate everything that's less than 50 or less than 20 years, really, but less than 15. And you could take 100% of that in year one. And then we look at the interior of the properties and say, okay, well, what can we reclassify as a 5-year asset? So we're looking at removable flooring covers, window treatments, decorative lightings, or decorative lighting, appliances. So we're looking at individual components of the building that we could reclassify as a 5-year asset, and then we're pulling that forward as well. Residential properties, the IRS updated their audit technique guide in February of 2025. So they've pulled back some of the items that we would accelerate. For example, we used to accelerate kitchen cabinetry, kitchen sinks. We're not doing that on residential property so much anymore, but if it's an Airbnb property, I certainly am. So it just depends on the type of property. So basically what we're talking about, guys, is accelerating depreciation on properties that you're planning on keeping in your portfolio to offset taxable income. And it's not a use it or lose it scenario. So if you can't use it all this year, you can roll it to next year. You just have to make sure it's either active or passive income. You can't have one jump over to the other bucket. So,
And Brian, is there like a simple formula that people can do? Oh, you came out with that estimator, didn't you? On your
yeah, on my website,
Will
it's
you
pretty
show them that?
conservative. Yeah, I'll pull it up. It's pretty conservative, but it's still. Let's see what I can share. Let's go to my Google Chrome. Let's see what. No, that's just going to show the toolbar. Let's see, side by side content.
So guys, the way, Trump brought back 100% depreciation. So like for any of you that own houses in portfolio, so like Trisha, you could think of your portfolio on like, do you run cost segs on your stuff or is this new to you?
I've been looking into it recently. For the bigger units that I'm going to keep longer term, I was considering, but for the ones that we flip or they may not stay in our portfolio forever, we were letting go.
Yeah. So we do it on anything that we sell, like on a lease option. Brian will just get it. That's part of like our checklist is the last thing that he does. Because with Trump having that 100% depreciation, like we're just banking it right now to where it sits at the CPA office. That way when they file the taxes at the end of the year. So go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, question real quick. So this is my first year doing all this stuff, Brian. And we've bought a handful now. I am just now leaving my W-2. Would you say that, I guess I really don't understand all this yet. So do I need to cost seg every single one of the houses that I've done this year to offset the taxes that I would pay for all the flips that I did this year?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So
You
let me put
can't.
it
Good.
to add to that, Alex, and then I want Brian's. So Brian's the expert, but like this is what I do with it, Alex. So like, you're taxed on what is left over at the end of the year. So if you profited 100 grand, then you're going to pay tax on 100 grand, right? If you made 200 grand flipping, but you spent 100 on correct like taxable items, right? Then you only have 100 grand left over that you're taxed on. And so that 100 grand is what I use Brian to offset. And so for your houses, like if you have a rough idea of what you made, and it was 100 grand or 50 grand or 300 grand, you would then run these studies from Brian, and he's going to be able to give you an amount and say like, hey, you offset because of this home, $28,000 in taxable income. So your $100,000 income just dropped to 72 grand taxable. Okay, so now you're only taxed on 72 grand. So if you run another one and it drops another 30 grand, you're only taxed on 42 grand.
Okay. So
And
you
you
only
just
need
keep working it down
until you hit the 0 mark.
or way below it and you bank it. Like, so for me, I want to have more available because I'm not really that good at tracking our true net income because of all of the expenses my company has, right? I don't know like what is like perfect write-offs and not. And so for me, if I make $1 million, I try to hold 4 million in assets to offset. So if you make 100 grand, hold 400K in assets to depreciate.
Okay. And then once you depreciate it one time, is that it?
So no, I
I'll let
think
Brian
that's
explain.
where I'll jump in is, so if you scroll down, so, and don't use this, like if you want a real estimate, go ahead and send me the property details. I'll have my team work up an estimate of benefit. Um, I just created this to give clients a quick idea. Let's call the purchase price $275,000. It's a residential rental property that you hold in your portfolio. But let's say your land allocation, land is different all across the country. Let's say you're in Georgia, you're in Macon, Georgia. It may come in at 10% of the purchase price. And then you have an in-service date of 2/1/2025. The effective tax rate is set at 37%. Guys, that's a way overstatement. Most people's effective tax rate's closer to 10 to 15%. Taxes are based on marginal tax rates, but you really need to understand what your effective tax rate is before you start looking at the benefits. So let's drop it to 24%, which might be more reasonable. You can calculate the estimate and you'll see that your first year depreciation with cost segregation will be 43,819, just real ballpark. But then you're at a 24% tax rate, so your true savings is $10,000, dollar for dollar taxes. And what you're doing is you're pulling forward all of the short life assets, the 5-year assets, the 15-year assets. But then you see this big portion, all this 27.5-year asset. That's still depreciation that you're taking every year thereafter. So you're only pulling forward a small amount, let's call it 15 to 24% in short life assets, and you still have 7,649 every year that you're pulling forward. So this is
You see that, Alex? So
Yes.
every year you get 7,600 bucks. And so in my setup, and I'm just sharing with you guys like my exact numbers. And so every year now I can roughly make, I think it was 190 grand and pay nothing on it just because of the reoccurring of that 27.5 year life within it. And so for
correct.
you, it's like you do 10 of these, right? You know, you can go make 70 grand, pay nothing, right? Like if I had 10 people sign up for my apprenticeship and I made 60 grand off of it, like nothing, no taxes paid on that. That's the power in this, man.
And then when you compare it to without cost segregation, you get $9,000. You're not losing that much money by doing the cost segregation study. you're just pulling forward, such a big chunk in that first year. So really, this is it. This is just a quick calculator. This is crazy, guys. I built this myself on a weekend. I was up in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and someone told me about lovable.com or lovable.com, guys. Lovable.dev. And I monkeyed around with it and I figured out how to create this calculator. So that's pretty cool. And I put a bunch of different property types up. So you guys want to see like real money? Car washes. It's like you want to start really accelerating depreciation. You go in and buy a car wash with a couple of partners for, $1.5 million. All of a sudden you're looking at, potentially almost $1 million in year one depreciation. So massive. So there's different asset class that really push the numbers when it comes to depreciation. And the IRS can't argue with this. It's in their,
So
their guidelines. So it's pretty
do
cool
we
stuff.
do we have to be aware of depreciation, or can you educate me on depreciation? Say I depreciate over the next 5 years, then I sell that asset. Now, do I have to pay, like, what's the tax penalties now that I would liquidate that asset within 5 years or whatever, but I've been
Yeah,
depreciating? Well, how does
very
that
good
come into play?
question. So I would never recommend doing a cost segregation study on a property that you're planning on selling in the near term. So 2 years, 5 years is probably right in line because what you're doing is you're accelerating the short life assets on it. And if you're pulling all of those 5 and 15-year assets into the early years and you sell it, then you're going to have depreciation recapture. But you're going to have depreciation recapture whether you do cost segregation or not. So what you always need to do, just like, when you're buying a property, you need to understand the disposition of that asset, meaning what am I going to do with it in future years? And if you're planning on selling it in 5 years, 10 years, just make sure you sit down with your CPA and financial advisor and really talk about the disposition of that asset, meaning are you going to do a 1031 exchange and kind of kick the can forward, or are you going to pay all the taxes on the gain and on the depreciation recapture, but then buy another asset and do a cost segregation study on it? So we'll call it like the lazy 1031 exchange. So you're right, you will have depreciation recapture. And what you don't want to do is sell a property without having a real clear plan on what your taxes look like. Because I've seen so many clients do it where they'll sell a property because they got a good offer on it. I have a client right now, and now she's stuck paying taxes on $500,000 of gain because she didn't buy the property in the same tax year to offset the taxes. So you want to make sure you line up that fiscal tax year properly. Otherwise, you could really hurt yourself. Yep.
Alex.
Yes, the difference between if it's on lease option or contract for deed.
So again, that's a little bit outside of my scope. I would always say, refer back to your CPA and tax attorney. But if you're taking ownership in the property, then technically you own that property. You could do the cost segregation study. So
Okay.
What we've been told, guys, is whoever holds the deed can hold the depreciation. So, but man, the contract for deed area, I would say it's a little gray. So I would just make sure that whoever does your taxes is like on board with it. So our guy is, so that's why we were comfortable doing it, because like I don't want to make the call on that. I want them to make the call uh, on
I
that.
agree. You want to have a good CPA in your corner, and it's not. And know with CPAs, guys, you want to have a relationship that that starts at the beginning of the year and goes all the way through the end of the year. Because if you pop these questions on them in your 15-minute consultation
Yeah.
right before they file the taxes, they may not know what bucket to put you in, and they might not be the best CPA for your specific scenario because CPAs have to know a lot about a lot of things, and not all of them specialize in real estate.
And so this is how you guys can get ahead of things too. Like, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard me talk about trading houses or trading assets. And so we've traded assets before, and we strictly like do it for depreciation plays. And so there's certain homes in my portfolio that like I've kind of depreciated the majority out of them. And so we will trade them with other people we'll trade homes and we'll trade deeds. And sometimes I'll trade them at a loss to even get that tax offset. But then I can now go get the depreciation of the new asset that I just traded for. Didn't buy it, didn't take a loss, didn't buy it, didn't put any money out of pocket, was just able to show a loss and depreciate it. So there's so much value in this. And like Brian did a cost take on one of my parks, and I think we got like 1.2 million in depreciation in the first year. And so Lisa, I think that was Castle View. I don't think that was, maybe it was Big Star. I thought it was Castle View though. But either which way, we had like a ton of depreciation that was available. So there's a lot of good stuff that can come out of this. Brian, what are these costs now?
It depends. I mean, so on base pricing on the website, what I put was $895 for a small residential project. The reality though is I don't want to price clients out of the market. So if you come to me and you've got an asset that's, $75,000, then, I want you to be able to do the study. Well, I think the base pricing on that, it's like $495. And then we kind of scale it based on purchase price and scope of work. And the reason why I say that is, I was just talking to a client in San Jose, and she is asking me how much I charge, and I'm like, the problem is in California, you could buy a little tiny ranch home for $2 million, and I'm not going to charge her, any more than I would charge someone in, Lake Charles, Louisiana for a little ranch house. But if you come to me and you've got a perfect example, a property in, Tennessee that you bought for $500,000 and it's horse property, and you have a bunch of outbuildings, and all of a sudden, it changes the scope of work. So I always say just get a free estimate on the property. I'll work up the custom quote on it and get it over to you. But at the end of the day, I want to make them very reasonable. And guys, we moved away from a modeling style study a number of years ago. These are fully engineered studies. And the real benefit to you there is, let's say that in year 5, you have to replace the roof of the property. You could actually use the study, take the existing roof and dispose of that asset. So you're taking, let's call it the $10,000 that's remaining of roofing covers. You dispose of the asset, take that the year you throw it away, and then you place the new roof into service. So
Right.
there's real benefit to having a detailed engineering study over like a DIY, modeling based study. So we shifted that a few years ago, and it's a little bit more time for me to do the studies. But, I always tell clients, I'm like, if someone's trying to rush you, like I'll tell you, if anybody ever comes to me and says, hey, you have to make a decision today, and try to rush through the process and get it to me fast, I'm usually walking away. I'm like, it's not really for me. And that's the way I feel about, getting a good estimate and also getting a good report, is it does take a little bit of time to actually, look at the properties, because we're pulling, county records, we're looking at it, we're making sure that we can provide real estimates, and then a detailed engineering study based on the data. So.
Cool. Alex, I know you got one. I got a question for him too. So
Yeah,
Yep.
Travis, so if we are wrapping these as is, they need work,
uh-huh.
they're buying them, they're going in there, they're fixing them up.
Uh-huh.
Because we still own the home, can we use the repairs?
So I could
Oof.
answer that, I think.
I don't know, dude. Yeah. Okay.
So what it is if you bought the property for $120,000 and that's your all-in basis, that's all there is.
Okay,
If it's $120,000 and you come in and bring in $20,000, not including your labor, but actual costs that you're paying other people, and now it's 140. So you've repaired it, you're all in for $140,000. That's the basis. If somebody else is repairing it, then you're just getting the benefit of their repairs, but
okay. And
it has to be, yeah, it has to be skin in the game, basically.
what sort of proof do you need on that? Invoices, anything specific?
So this is the honor system. So when you're standing in front of the judge and you say your honor, that's what you need to prove. So,
Got it.
I'm not auditing the work that you provide back to me. I'm saying that you've given me this closing statement and you've said that you've put in this amount of money on these improvements. And in the IRS's world, the burden of proof is on the taxpayer, not on the IRS. So what you guys need to do on all of your properties and all of everything you're doing is document it. Set up a Dropbox file, a Google Drive, and for every single property, just build as much data into it as possible. I mean, I tell clients this because, people are always trying to, like I've got, especially with Airbnbs right now, everybody's trying to offset their active income. If that's what you're trying to do, just know that the IRS is really going to scrutinize the fact that you offset all of your active income. So just make sure that you're keeping track of everything.
Yeah.
What,
Alex, here's the way I do it too, man, to make it really clean is like if I have to go stand in front of a judge, I want to be comfortable um agreeing to anything that I did. And I
yep.
mean that like not like gray in the line, like I mean we gray lines all day, right? That's like why we exist in these worlds, right? Is to be able to like do things effectively and getting things done. But it's like at the end of the day, like why'd you depreciate that fridge? Like, well, man, because it was my fridge and it was in there. So, I mean, you just want to be able to be ethical about it.
Yep. Cool.
You got more questions?
I mean, just on the top of my head, would it be worth it to put a brand new roof on every house that you buy and then you sell it just to depreciate it?
No, it wouldn't.
Okay.
No, I mean, you only want to like a roof is a straight line depreciation asset. I would say you need to be careful with any improvements that you make to properties. I see this all the time because you can't depreciate an asset that you throw away. So before you throw away item, make sure that it really has no value. So if the existing appliances can be used for another year, keep them in place them into service, and then maybe in the next year replace them because you took the existing appliances, even though they're 1962, you used them in that rental property for 12 months. So you were able to depreciate them because they worked. Now in year 2 or year 3, you put in new appliances, you could depreciate those at 100%. But if you went in and threw away those old appliances, there's no value to them.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with flooring, kitchen cabinetry, window treatments, all of it. So I would say, if something's really broken, then fix it. But if you can use it in its current state, then absolutely use it.
And then
Brian,
around what time of the year do you need to start getting all this?
I recommend putting it in your just whatever workflow you're using, whatever platform you use, just put it as part of your schedule. So as soon as you close on a property, you could send me over the closing statements. I could work up an estimated benefit. We could have a conversation about the improvements that you make. And then whenever you're ready to move forward, just move forward. It doesn't even have to be in the same calendar year. I just know how I am and I know other people are. You just want to put it in your workflow. So you take care of it because you don't want to drop all this on your CPA right before you file.
so Alex, what we do is after my property is rented or lease optioned, we send it to it. That's when we do it. And it just happens every time. And so we have like this is a cost, but like what I like about it is once I make the asset cash flow or we get a down payment from it, this just takes care of that bill essentially for us. And so I'm able to offset the income here versus like front loading it, I think is fine, guy. I think it honestly, it doesn't matter. This is just how we do it in our process so that it doesn't like cost me money out of my pocket. This just kind of like comes out of the down payment that we get from our owner financing.
And then for me, I'm definitely not that's why I like this business for me is because I'm not a type of salesperson who's going to, like follow up. What I'm going to do is I'll provide you with an estimated benefit and then I'll probably put you on a newsletter system. And then whenever you're ready to move forward, you could call me back. It's just a
And I'm
smoother
going to put in
process.
Brian's link. So here's our equity buyers link, guys. So he's got a sort of a discount thing that he will apply to you guys. And it
Do you want
kind
me
of
to stop sharing or are you good?
no, you're good, man. You're good. I think it's fine. I'd rather just Q&A this thing the rest of the way. I just dropped it in the chat. I mean, everybody
Okay.
does this in the training, but this has got your contact info. It's our affiliate link, how we kind of get a group buying discount from Brian, and he can work with us more on it. You heard the custom piece. So Brian, I got one final thing too, and then if anybody else does, but why I noticed that Teresa has been rerunning some studies. Why do we rerun studies? What does that do?
The only reason why you'd rerun a study is if you went in and you had improvements, like you made more improvements to the property. But if you did a study once, you wouldn't want to do a study again.
Okay.
So it maybe that's something that we'd picked up and we canceled if it was a study we've already done. But let's
Okay.
say that you acquired a property in tax year 2025, you placed it into service, and then in 2026, you do a major remodel on it. You would
Hmm.
send me, say, hey, I did a bunch of capital expenditures, and then I would do a CapEx study for you. And then we'd place all those new assets into service, and you could take a disposition on the old ones. So that's
Okay.
the only reason you would do that.
That would make sense then, because I bet she ran them on our two Airbnbs that we've had them for years and we've transitioned them to Airbnbs and we did like massive renovations on them, like 80K a piece on there. And so that would make sense on why maybe she did. So
Mhm.
cool, man. Okay. Well, guys, I'm not trying to cut this short call off. This is kind of an important thing. And
Oh,
so,
well, and guys, I could literally talk for an hour on this nonstop. So if you guys have any questions or if you want me to show you any specific scenarios, I certainly can. I could tell you, mistakes that are made, and I think that's a good one, mistakes in cost segregation. Do you want me to go over that real quick?
well, guys, any questions or I'm going to have him run through some mistakes.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for coming. Like I didn't even really understand this at all. And then just this conversation has created foundational ideals. And now we got your website. Now we know you're there. This is gonna be huge for all of us. So thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
And
got
guys, you can call me anytime too. Like my, contact is here. It's like just as easy as clicking a button. So
one small thing and I gotta hop off here, but yeah, thank you for coming. And is this something that I could just call you now and get all this stuff set up and ready to go like tomorrow, or what does that look like?
I would say just jump on the calendar. That's what I would do is hop on the calendar, send me an email or give me a call. I would say right now, no, because I'm gonna go hack down my neighbor's bougainvillea tree in a second. So try to get some vitamin D before the end of the day.
Alejandro, it's if you click that button in there, it's got a request a cost segregation report. So just get on their radar with this stuff.
Perfect. Thank you guys.
Yeah, dude, of course. Okay. Well, so Brian, I try to keep these at an hour for everybody, and so
I do too. I got it.
but I mean, I don't want to remove it because it's November. This is when we start really paying attention to our tax liability. And so I'd love to just be able to let everybody Q&A you the rest of the way. Guys, is there any questions that he could help answer for you? I feel like Alejandro really drilled down on some, so that was pretty darn good. Cool. Brian, could I hear before you go though, I would like to hear like the don'ts of the cost segregation piece and then we can end the call. That would be
Perfect. Yeah,
fine.
with the
When he said that, I was like, I don't even know the don'ts. So
yeah, so the cost segregation mistakes that I see all the time is not looking at your land allocations properly prior to filing your fixed asset schedules with your CPA, or leaving it directly up to your CPA to calculate your building basis because they may not pull in all of your expenses properly. So the number one there is don't let your CPA automatically calculate the land allocation unless they really understand the area that you bought the property, because property in Macon, Georgia is not the same as property in San Diego. And if they're using a flat rule of thumb, they could be taking depreciation off the table. The next one is don't not, I should say, is make sure that you're tracking all of your expenses. Every single dollar that you pour into that property, make sure that you're putting in an Excel spreadsheet. The other thing that I would say not to do is don't look for the maximum accelerated depreciation. Look for the accurate accelerated depreciation. What we don't want to have happen is in 3 years when the IRS has AI, they flag every single report because you push the numbers so hard. You just want it to be, it needs to be reasonable. So those are a couple of items.
How do you find out your land allocation?
I pull the county tax assessor's record to start. That's the first place.
Okay.
The second place is I look on an appraisal if you had one done. Then I'll look for market comparables in the area. And then lastly, I'll run a replacement cost new, less depreciation. So you'd basically need a cost segregation report to do that. Or you could do like, hey, it costs $175 a square foot to build a property in this area, but the property's in poor condition. So I'm going to apply a 70% depreciation factor to it. And then, multiply that by the square footage of the property less the purchase price. So
Right.
those are the recommended. There's court cases behind each of those. So
Okay. Cool. Trying to think of what else I had. That was the land allocation piece. Okay. Cool, man. Yeah, that land allocation thing was different because in each state, it was different for us. But now that we're primarily Georgia, I think it's pretty simple. So, Trisha, did you have anything on this?
No, I appreciate you going through some of your don'ts. And it's definitely a good thing to think about as I'm holding more multi-units. I definitely think I'll have to look into this. Right now, my accountant is saying I don't need a definite depreciation. My husband owns a plumbing company and we've been buying new trucks. So he's been using that. But I wonder if using the real estate end of it versus writing off the depreciation on trucks, do you have any correspondence to real estate versus automobiles?
It's two separate items. I mean, I would recommend always doing a cost segregation study in the year you acquire the property. The trucks are absolutely bonus depreciable, but so are your appliances. So why wouldn't you take both of them?
Okay.
Why would you depreciate your refrigerator over 27 and a half years? And I just think, you want to take advantage of the opportunities that you can because it's not a use it or lose it scenario. You're just pushing it down the road for when you do need it.
Yeah, I think but it's a totally, yeah, it's a good point, Brian and Trisha. It's a good question. So like my wife's vehicle, she's got a nice SUV, but like, don't get it wrong, that thing weighs over 6,000 pounds, right? And so to offset the income, the one nice thing that we don't have to do, like, say your husband didn't need new trucks. That's like when you have to have your cost seg stuff teed up. But if he needs them, cool, buy them. But don't ever the trap that, in my opinion, that I see a lot of business owners get in is they're always chasing zero. And so because with cost segs, we can make as much as we want, right? And we can keep it all, and we can show banks that we made 300 or 400 grand. Not that we have liabilities in other areas, but we have assets. And so I think you'll want to write off the trucks as long as you can, but don't ever buy one just to get depreciation. That's a no-no.
Absolutely. It's just the last couple of years that it fell into that bucket. But I think again, like now that we have these new trucks, I don't think that it'll be something that happens continuously. So we'll have to look at different
Yeah. Yeah, and it's good just to start learning it, right? Because I shared with you guys, like, we're getting to the point where it's going to be kind of hard to chase some of the offsets through single family. And so I've kind of got to get into some other asset classes, like almost on my own, to where I can have like all of the depreciation. Brian, we're looking at there's a guy that you can buy heavy equipment from. You put the 10% payment down, he'll rent it out for you, but you can get the full equipment depreciation from that. And so can you run depreciation on equipment for us?
We don't need to. There's no,
There's
it's
no need
pretty,
to.
no,
Okay.
because it's equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He'd talk. So I've still never had a call with the guy, but like we always bank on our homes to do it all. But we've got a couple private equity deals that might cash out. They're going to cause some tax problems for us.
And you
And
start looking at like, what is it, mineral and oil rights?
really? Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about those.
We may want to bring somebody on the call because that's a totally different asset.
Really? Do you have a connection?
Yeah, I could get someone for you.
If you don't mind, man, I'd love the email of them.
All
So
right.
Cool. Well, guys, I hope y'all got some benefit from this. If you guys have any additional questions that you need me for any, I mean, if you got Brian here for cost eggs, and I can speak to him, 50% as good as he can, or maybe more like 25%. But you just get a hold of him if you need anything for that. But then if you guys have anything else real estate related, just feel free to hit me up through Facebook or give me a call. But Brian, thank you, man. I always like having you on at least once a year to you make a big play, you make a big splash in our life, man.
Yeah, if you want to re-record any trainings too, I'm always happy to do it. Just as things, they update all the time. So we could pop in and do maybe an hour-long call and break it up into like 4 or 5 pieces so it's a little bit more digestible.
That's not a bad idea, man. I'll shoot you a text on that too, because with the bonus depreciation, like all of the people with houses, like you've got to bank it like while it's 100%. So, okay.
Sounds good. All right, guys. It's good talking
All
to you.
right. Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, we'll see y'all later. Have a great rest of your day. Give me a call or hit me up in the Facebook group if you guys need anything else. So, hope you got some benefit. Cool. Bye-bye.